Chosen one, stop. Do not scroll past this. I am not asking for casual attention. I am calling your spirit into focus, because this message did not arrive by accident, and your heart already knows it. Heaven interrupted your path today. Archangel Michael was sent with a letter that has your name written across it. This is not entertainment. This is not another voice in the noise. This is a divine interruption, placed in front of you, before you stepped into something your spirit was already warning you about. You have felt it. You have sensed the weight. Something has been pressing against your chest before your mind could explain why. Listen closely. The letter Michael carries is not here to shame you. It is here to protect you. It holds a warning, a confirmation, and an instruction that must not be treated like ordinary words. If you skip this, you may not lose a video. You may lose the very direction sent to guard your next season. That is why you have been restless. That is why sleep has felt broken. That is why you have opened your eyes in the quiet hours, feeling as if someone had called your name, but the room was silent. Your body was lying down, but your spirit was standing at attention. Heaven was trying to get through. You tried to dismiss it. You told yourself you were tired. You blamed stress, memories, and another long day. But deep inside, something kept whispering that this was not normal exhaustion, and that your soul was responding to movement in the unseen realm. You are not imagining the signal. Chosen one. The strange pressure around you has meaning. The repeated numbers, the sudden heaviness, the unexpected memories, the old names returning, and the sharp feeling that you must be careful, all of it is connected. Heaven has been marking the road in front of you, because the next step matters. This is why Michael did not come softly. He came with urgency. Not because God is angry with you, but because God is protecting what He placed inside you. There is an assignment on your life that cannot be handled with sleepy faith, scattered thoughts, and a distracted heart. Your attention is sacred right now. You have been sensing a letter before you heard the words. You felt it when your mood shifted without warning. You felt it when certain people suddenly became too loud for your spirit to tolerate. You felt it when the same thought kept returning again and again, even after you tried to bury it. That thought was not random. That pressure was not weakness. That silence was not emptiness. And the distance you have felt from certain places, certain conversations, and certain people is not cruelty. It is separation. Heaven has been pulling you away from what could blur your discernment. Do not rush past this part. Your discernment is being tested. The enemy does not always attack with obvious darkness. Sometimes he attacks with noise, urgency, guilt, and familiar voices that sound harmless while they slowly pull you out of alignment. That is why this letter had to be delivered now. Michael is standing at the threshold of this message, with a sword in one hand and a sealed warning in the other. Not to frighten you, but to wake you. Not to condemn you, but to steady you. There is a door ahead that looks comfortable, but comfort is not always confirmation from God. And there is another door ahead that looks unfamiliar, but your spirit becomes quiet when you face it. That is important. Peace is not always loud. Sometimes peace comes as a still pressure that says, do not go back, do not answer the old call, do not shrink for people who benefit from your confusion. You have been carrying confusion that does not belong to you. You have been absorbing emotions from people who never learned how to handle their own storms. You kept calling it compassion, but your spirit has been drained by battles heaven never assigned you to carry. This letter begins by releasing you. The first line says, stop mistaking heaviness for humility. You were not created to drag every burden placed at your feet. Some weights are assignments, but some weights are traps. Some people need your prayer, but they do not need access to your peace. That difference will save you in this season. The second line says, stop calling delay a denial. God has not forgotten the promise. The silence has not erased the instruction. The door did not vanish because it took longer than expected. Something was being arranged beyond what your eyes could see, while your spirit was learning how to stand still without surrendering hope. The third line says, "Restore your clarity before the next instruction arrives." This is where the message becomes personal. You do not need more noise. You do not need another opinion from someone who cannot recognize your calling. You need the kind of clarity that lets your spirit hear without panic. That clarity used to come naturally to you. As a child, you sensed things quickly. You learned fast. You noticed what others missed. You could walk into a room and feel the truth before anyone spoke it. But over time, the world became loud and the gift became buried under pressure. You were taught to second-guess yourself. You were trained to explain every instinct. You were mocked for being sensitive. So you learned to hide your spiritual sight behind logic that never truly satisfied your soul. But heaven never removed the gift. It only waited for the right moment to uncover it again. You have also felt the pull to make yourself smaller. You almost apologized for your own light. You almost returned to a place that trained you to doubt every holy instinct. But something in you resisted. That resistance was not rebellion. It was protection rising from the deepest part of your spirit. This is why you must stay with this letter. It is not only telling you what to avoid, it is reminding you what still lives inside you. The version of you that heard God clearly is not gone. The version of you that moved with quiet certainty is not dead. It is waking again. And later, I will speak more about a simple 7-minute sound technology that has helped many chosen ones support their clarity when the mind feels crowded. It is not a replacement for prayer. It is not a shortcut around obedience. It is a small tool for those who know their focus has been buried under years of noise. But before that, you must understand why Michael was sent. A tool cannot help a person who refuses the warning. A blessing cannot protect a person who keeps walking back into confusion. So listen carefully now, because the danger in this message is not what most people think it is. Chosen one, now listen with a steady spirit. The danger is not what your fear has been telling you. God is not hunting you down to punish you. Heaven is not standing over you with anger. The danger is far more subtle, and that is why Michael had to deliver the letter before you took another step. The danger is distraction. The danger is confusion wearing the mask of wisdom. The danger is the old door opening again, while your tired heart calls it familiar peace. And if you are honest, you already know which door I am speaking about, because your spirit has been uneasy near it for a while. You have been asking God for a sign, but the sign did not arrive the way you expected. It did not always come through a dream, a voice, or a sudden miracle. Sometimes it came as a heaviness when you were about to answer a message. Sometimes it came as silence when you tried to force a connection. That silence was not rejection, it was protection. That delay was not God forgetting your name. It was heaven slowing your feet before you walked into something that would drain your clarity again. You thought nothing was happening, but the unseen realm was already rearranging the road around you. There is a place you keep almost returning to. There is a person, a habit, a thought pattern, or a private fear that still knows how to call your name. You do not always want it back, but when you feel tired enough, you start wondering if maybe it was not so harmful after all. That is how distraction works. It does not always arrive screaming. It arrives sounding reasonable. It says, just check once. It says, just answer one more time. It says, just delay the hard decision until tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes another chain when your spirit already knows the instruction. God is not angry because you felt tired. God is not disappointed because you wrestled with fear. But heaven is warning you because tired people are often tempted to choose familiar bondage over unfamiliar freedom. And this season cannot be entered with your heart tied to what God already pulled you out of. You have been mistaking emotional exhaustion for spiritual permission. You said, maybe I should go back because I am lonely. You said, maybe I should stay silent because confrontation is hard. You said, maybe I should wait because I am not ready. But sometimes waiting is no longer patience. Sometimes it is fear dressed in calm clothing. The letter says, do not confuse comfort with confirmation. Comfort can be a trap when it keeps you unchanged. Familiar pain can feel safer than holy movement because at least you know how to survive it. But the fact that you survived something does not mean you were meant to rebuild your home there. You have outgrown places that still expect the old version of you. You have outgrown conversations where your spirit must shrink just to keep peace. You have outgrown rooms where your light is tolerated only when it is dim. And the danger is that guilt may convince you to return. Chosen one. Guilt is one of the oldest tools used against a tender heart. Because you love deeply, people can make you feel cruel for choosing peace. Because you forgive quickly, they can make you feel guilty for having boundaries. Because you carry mercy, they can twist your compassion into a cage. You have been trained to question your own discernment. That training did not begin yesterday. It began through years of being told you were too sensitive, too serious, too emotional, too hard to understand. So when your spirit warns you now, you sometimes apologize to people instead of trusting what heaven is showing you. But your sensitivity is not a defect. It is discernment before language. It is your spirit detecting what your eyes cannot prove yet. And many times, the reason you felt uncomfortable before everyone else noticed the problem is because your assignment requires you to sense danger early. That is why skipping this message would be dangerous. Not because the video has power over you, not because fear should rule you, but because the instruction inside this letter is connected to a decision you are already facing, and distraction is trying to make you postpone your obedience. The enemy does not need to destroy the whole assignment when he can delay one decision. One delayed act of obedience can keep you circling the same mountain. One emotional compromise can reopen a door heaven closed. One private agreement with fear can blur the next instruction until you begin doubting everything. Some opportunities are tests, some invitations are traps, some apologies are bait, some sudden returns are not reconciliation, but spiritual timing designed to pull you backward right before your breakthrough matures. That is why your spirit has not been relaxed around certain things, even when your mind tried to explain them away. Do not ignore the tension. The tension is speaking. The discomfort is not always anxiety. Sometimes it is a warning from a wiser part of you that has already seen the pattern before. You are not being dramatic. You are recognizing a cycle before it fully closes around you again. There is one door you must not enter. It is the door of the old cycle. It may look softer now. It may speak more gently now. It may even come with an apology, a promise, or a version of respect you once begged for. But delayed respect is not always transformation. There is also one door you must not miss. It is the door of clarity. It is the door where your peace becomes stronger than your need to be understood. It is the door where obedience becomes more important than explaining yourself to people who profit from your confusion. That is why this letter feels heavy. It is not heavy because doom is coming. It is heavy because destiny is close. The closer the instruction, the stronger the distraction. The closer the shift, the louder the old cycle becomes. The closer the door, the more tempting the hallway behind you looks. Michael was sent because heaven saw the moment of decision forming around you, not in some vague future, not in a distant season, around you now. Your spirit has been standing between two pulls. One pull toward what trained you to survive, and one pull toward what God created you to become. And the letter is saying, choose with clarity. Do not choose from loneliness. Do not choose from guilt. Do not choose from exhaustion. Do not choose from the ache of wanting someone to finally understand you. Choose from the place inside you that still knows what God said before fear got loud. You are not behind. You are being separated. You are not rejected. You are being redirected. You are not losing everything. You are losing access to what could not come with you. And while your emotions may call this loss, heaven calls it alignment. Stay with me now. Michael is not finished with the letter. The next part will show you why the attack became stronger when your clarity started returning. Because the enemy does not fear your pain as much as he fears what happens when you finally understand who you are. Chosen one, now the letter goes deeper. Michael is not only showing you what to avoid, he is showing you why the pressure around your life has been so intense. The warfare increased because your clarity started returning, and darkness always reacts when a marked one begins to remember the sound of God again. This is not the first time heaven has protected a message through battle. Daniel prayed, and the answer was already released, but resistance in the unseen realm tried to delay what God had spoken. The delay did not mean denial. It meant the message was valuable enough to be contested. The battle did not prove Daniel was forgotten. It proved that what was coming carried weight, and heaven was moving even when the natural world looked silent. That is why Michael matters here. Michael stands where there is warfare around destiny, instruction, and divine timing, and that something is connected to you. Your clarity has been under attack because your next instruction requires it. Your peace has been under pressure because your next door cannot be entered in panic. Your discernment has been tested because one wrong agreement could pull you back into a cycle God already judged. Think about Daniel. He did not see the battle, but the battle was real. He did not control the timing, but the answer was still moving. He did not have full proof, but he stayed positioned. That is what this letter is calling you back to. Position before explanation. Obedience before comfort. You have been wanting God to explain everything before you move. But often, heaven gives enough light for the next step, not enough light to satisfy every fearful question. Faith is not the absence of uncertainty. Faith is choosing the instruction God gave before your emotions demand a safer map. Now look at Elijah. He was powerful, but he became tired. He called down fire, but later sat under a tree with a soul so drained that he could barely see tomorrow. God did not shame him for being exhausted. God fed him, restored him, and spoke in a still small voice. That matters for you. Your exhaustion is not proof that you are disqualified. Your tears are not proof that heaven withdrew. Your silence is not proof that your calling died. Sometimes the chosen person does not need a louder miracle. Sometimes they need restoration enough to hear the whisper again. Elijah did not need noise. He needed clarity. He needed enough peace inside his own body to recognize the difference between earthquake, fire, wind, and the voice of God. And that is where many chosen ones are right now, surrounded by movement, but starving for the true signal. You have heard many loud things lately. Loud fears, loud opinions, loud memories, loud accusations from the past. But the voice that matters most has not been competing with the noise. It has been waiting beneath it, steady and holy, asking you to become quiet enough to receive. This is why your sensitivity cannot be treated as weakness anymore. A watchman must feel what others ignore. A seer must notice what others dismiss. A spiritual warrior must sense when the atmosphere changes, even before the natural evidence arrives. You were never too much. You were tuned differently. People who do not carry your assignment may call your discernment anxiety. They may say you overthink, overfeel, or overreact, but they do not understand the burden of sensing danger before it becomes visible. They do not understand the cost of being awake in a room full of sleeping spirits. Joseph had to move before everyone understood. Mary had to carry a promise people could not explain. Moses had to leave comfort before the path made sense. David had to be anointed long before he sat on the throne. Heaven often marks the person before the world has language for the mark. So do not despise the season when you feel hidden. Hidden does not mean forgotten. Hidden means protected until the oil settles. Hidden means God is building strength without applause. Hidden means the wrong hands cannot touch what heaven is still forming inside you. The letter says, your season of confusion is being challenged. Not because every question will be answered tonight, Not because every relationship will suddenly make sense, but because heaven is restoring the inner witness that fear tried to bury. You are being trained to recognize the sound of truth again. And here is where it goes deeper. The enemy did not only attack your peace, he attacked your ability to trust what you sensed. Because if you stop trusting discernment, you will keep asking unsafe people to confirm what God already told you in secret. That is why you felt pulled toward people who confuse you. That is why you almost shared your next move with someone who secretly benefits from your delay. That is why you felt tempted to explain a sacred instruction to a person who has never honored the voice of God in your life. You must stop placing holy instructions in unholy hands. Not everyone deserves access to the letter. Not everyone needs to know what Michael delivered. Some things God reveals to you must be guarded until obedience has already begun, because premature explanation can invite unnecessary warfare. This does not mean you become hard. It means you become wise. This does not mean you stop loving people. It means you stop allowing love to become a doorway for manipulation. Compassion without discernment becomes exhaustion, and exhaustion makes even a chosen person vulnerable to old cycles. Now listen carefully. There is a reason your mind has felt crowded. There is a reason prayer has felt harder than it used to. There is a reason you can feel God near, yet still struggle to hear the next instruction clearly. The issue is not always lack of faith. Sometimes the signal is buried under noise. This is why, later, I will point you to the Genius song as a support for clarity, not as a replacement for prayer, not as a replacement for scripture, not as a replacement for obedience, but as a simple 7-minute audio tool created to help support the clear state many chosen ones feel they lost over time. There is a kind of clarity you remember. You may not have called it by name, but you remember it. You remember when your thoughts moved faster. You remember when your intuition felt clean. You remember when ideas arrived without force, and your spirit could sense truth before your mind built a defense. That clarity was not random. It was part of the way God wired you. Some call it sharpness, some call it intuition, some call it discernment. Science may speak of brain waves and focus, but heaven knows the sacred design underneath every gift. Your mind and spirit were never meant to fight each other. God can speak through prayer, through scripture, through dreams, through wise counsel, and sometimes through simple tools that help quiet the storm around your attention. The tool is never the savior. God is. But a restored mind can hear more clearly. Stay with the letter. Do not run ahead. We are not at the deepest line yet. The most shocking sentence Michael carries is not about the enemy outside you. It is about the private agreement you made with fear, and what happens when heaven finally asks you to break it. Chosen one. Now the letter reaches the line your fear hoped you would never hear. You did not lose the message. You started negotiating with the part of you that was afraid to obey it. That is why your clarity became cloudy right when the instruction became serious. This is not condemnation. This is correction with mercy. Heaven is not exposing you to humiliate you. Heaven is showing you the hidden agreement that has been draining your strength, because a chain you cannot see is still a chain until truth touches it. Somewhere along the way, you learn to call fear wisdom. You learn to call delay patience. You learn to call hiding humility. You learn to call silence maturity, even when your spirit knew you were only trying to avoid the cost of becoming visible. You said you were waiting on God, but sometimes God was waiting on the version of you that would stop asking permission from old pain. You said you were being careful, but careful became a cage when it made you ignore what heaven had already confirmed. This is the private agreement Michael came to break. Not an agreement written on paper, not an agreement spoken out loud. It was made in quiet moments, when disappointment taught you to lower your expectation, and betrayal taught you to distrust every holy stirring inside your own spirit. You agreed to live smaller if it meant fewer attacks. You agreed to hide your gift if it meant people would stop questioning you. You agreed to delay your obedience if it meant you would not have to explain a move that only God could understand. But heaven never asked you to become less anointed for the comfort of people who cannot handle your light. God never asked you to bury discernment so others could feel less exposed. The letter says, "The season of shrinking is over, and your spirit knows it." That is why the old cycle became louder. That is why memories returned. That is why certain people appeared again with softer voices and familiar words. The enemy studies your wounds, and he often knocks on the door using the sound of something you once wanted. You almost opened it. Be honest with your own spirit. You almost went back to what broke your peace because it looked different this time. You almost answered what God told you to leave unanswered. You almost called that pull love when it was really a test. This does not make you weak. It makes you human. It means the wound still wanted closure, and the heart still wanted proof that the suffering had meaning. But Michael did not come to debate your wound. He came to defend your future from it. The letter now speaks clearly. Stop returning to what God already delivered you from. Do not confuse delay with denial. Restore your clarity before the next instruction arrives. These are not soft suggestions. These are protective lines drawn around the next season of your life. The first line cuts the old cord. Stop returning. Not because you hate anyone, not because you are cruel, but because mercy without obedience becomes self-betrayal, and your future cannot keep paying the price for a past that refuses to become holy. The second line steadies your hope. Delay is not denial. The promise is not dead, because it took longer than your emotions preferred. God was not wasting your time. He was removing false foundations, false voices, and false attachments before placing weight on your next yes. The third line is the one you must not ignore. Restore your clarity before the next instruction arrives. Because the next door will not always scream. The next instruction may come as a whisper, a nudge, a quiet discomfort, or a sudden peace that makes no logical sense. That is why this part matters so much. A distracted mind can mistake the wrong door for relief. A foggy spirit can confuse old bondage with safety. A tired heart can say yes to something heaven never approved, simply because it wants the pressure to stop. Now breathe slowly. Let the truth settle. You are not being punished. You are being sharpened. You are not being rejected. You are being corrected. You are not losing your place in the plan. You are being pulled back into alignment before the next step becomes irreversible. And this is where I need to speak about something carefully. Not as a replacement for prayer. Not as a replacement for scripture. Not as a replacement for obedience. But as a support for the clarity that many chosen ones feel they lost under years of pressure and noise. It is called the Genius Song. It is a 7-minute digital audio track created to be heard through headphones. The purpose is simple. It uses brain entrainment to help support the gamma brainwave, the state often connected with focus, intuition, insight, and flow. Dr. Robert Lake spent 34 years studying the brain and the way sound can guide attention into clearer states. Research connected with places like MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and other leading universities has explored how brainwaves relate to learning, focus, and perception. But I do not want you to hear this as cold science only. For a chosen one, clarity is not just mental performance. Clarity is protection. Clarity is obedience without panic. Clarity is the ability to know when God is saying move, wait, release, or stay silent. You may remember that kind of clarity. There was a time when ideas came faster. You could sense truth before people explained themselves. You could feel a shift in a room before anyone admitted what was happening. The world may call that intuition, but heaven knows the gift underneath it. Over time, the noise of life can bury that gift. Pressure, school, work, disappointment, betrayal, endless scrolling, and survival mode can train the mind to stay dull and defensive. Many chosen ones do not lose their calling. They lose the inner quiet needed to hear it clearly. That is why this tool fits this message. The letter says to restore clarity before the next instruction arrives. The genius song is not magic. It is not a shortcut around spiritual discipline. It is a simple sound-based support for people who know their mind has been crowded for too long. More than 18,366 people have used it. And the trust signal is not just the number of users. The stronger signal is that less than 4% requested refunds, which means most people kept using it after they had time to test it. One man was 51, and he had been without work for almost 2 years after his company downsized. He said he was not lacking ability. He was lacking sharpness. In interviews, his words would disappear, and fog would cover the very mind that once carried confidence. After 11 days of using the audio, he received an offer for a position better than the one he lost. He did not describe the change as luck only. He described it as his mind finally clearing enough for him to show up as the person he still was inside. That does not mean every person has the same timeline. It means clarity matters. It means the mind can affect obedience, decisions, timing, and courage. And when your next instruction is sacred, anything that helps you quiet the fog must be treated with discernment and seriousness. You may have tried meditation apps. Some cost around $15 each month. You may have looked at online growth courses costing $100 to $200. Some people spend around $150 for a single therapy session, or $400 to $800 on a weekend retreat. Those things may help some people, but most of them do not speak directly to Gamma support in this simple 7-minute format. Dr. Lake placed the original audio at $49, but for viewers of this message, it is available for $39 one time. It is delivered digitally by email. There is no shipping. There is no waiting for a package. And with it, there are 4 bonuses valued together at $80, designed to support the same journey of clarity, focus, visualization, and lasting daily habits. The first is Genius Child, valued at $19. The second is the Classic Book, valued at $20. The third is a guided visualization, valued at $29. The fourth is a 5-habit infographic, valued at $12. Together, the bonuses alone carry more stated value than the audio price. There is also a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you use it and decide it is not for you, you can request a refund. And even then, you keep the bonuses. That guarantee is there, so the decision does not have to come from pressure. But please hear this warning. There are counterfeit versions online. Some use the name, but they do not carry the original technology, the 4 bonuses, or the guarantee. Do not search for it on Amazon, YouTube, Spotify, or random websites. Use only the official link in the description and pinned comment. Now, pause for a moment. Place your hand over your heart if you can. Take one slow breath. This is not about whether $39 is worth a sound file. This is about whether you are ready to stop living as if your clarity does not matter. If your spirit recognizes this, the official link is in the description and pinned comment. Move with peace, move with discernment, move without panic. And do not treat this like a sale. Treat it like a small step toward restoring the clarity God always intended you to walk in. Do not leave now. Michael has delivered the correction, but the letter still needs to be sealed. The final part is where you speak agreement over your own spirit, and what you declare next must not be casual. Chosen one, now the letter must be sealed. Michael has delivered the warning. Heaven has opened the hidden line. God has not abandoned you, and the danger was never that you were forgotten. The danger was that you almost forgot how sacred your clarity truly is. Let that settle in your spirit. You were not called here to be terrified. You were called here to be awakened. This message did not come to crush you under fear, but to lift the fog before you step into a season that requires obedience, discernment, and a steady heart. The shocking letter was not a sentence of punishment. It was a correction wrapped in mercy. It was God saying, I see the road ahead. and I will not let you walk blind if your spirit is willing to listen. That is protection, that is love, that is divine timing. The danger has now been named. It was missed instruction. It was old cycles wearing new clothes. It was fear sounding like wisdom. It was comfort pretending to be confirmation. It was the quiet temptation to go back to what trained you to survive, instead of moving toward what God created you to become. And now the false door has been exposed. It is the door of returning. The door of explaining yourself to people who never honored your spirit. The door of answering old voices because loneliness made them sound softer than they really are. That door may open, but you do not have to enter. The true door has also been revealed. It is the door of clarity. It is the door where you choose peace without apology. It is the door where your obedience becomes stronger than your need to be understood. It is the door where your spirit finally stops negotiating with fear. Michael came because there was warfare around your next yes. Not every battle is about what you lost. Some battles are about what you are about to carry. Some attacks increase because heaven is moving you closer to a door that darkness cannot follow you through. So do not grieve every separation. Some distance is deliverance. Do not chase every voice that becomes quiet. Some silence is protection. Do not answer every invitation that returns from the past. Some returns are tests, and your spirit already knows the difference when you stop forcing yourself to ignore it. You have been corrected, but you have not been condemned. You have been warned, but you have not been rejected. You have been exposed, but only so the hidden chain could be broken. Heaven does not reveal a trap to shame you. Heaven reveals a trap so you can step around it. This is why the message had to arrive before your next decision. Your next season cannot be carried by the version of you that apologizes for discernment. Your next instruction cannot be received by the version of you that calls confusion, love, or calls emotional pressure a holy responsibility. There is a holy firmness rising in you now. It may feel unfamiliar. It may feel quiet. It may even feel like grief at first, because obedience often closes doors. Your wounded heart still wanted to fix. But do not mistake grief for error. Sometimes grief is the sound of bondage losing access. You are allowed to obey God and disappoint people. You are allowed to protect your peace without writing a long explanation. You are allowed to move differently when heaven gives you a different instruction. You are allowed to become too clear, to be manipulated again. The letter says, you will not miss the message this time, not because you are perfect, not because you never feel afraid, but because your spirit is awake enough to recognize when fear is trying to borrow the language of caution. You are learning the difference now. Your clarity is returning. Your discernment is sharpening. Your sleep will not always feel like warfare. Your prayers will not always feel blocked. Your thoughts will not always move like scattered dust in a storm. The fog that tried to cover your next step is losing its power. And as that clarity returns, guard it. Do not offer your peace to every person who demands access. Do not let guilt become your compass. Do not let exhaustion make decisions for you. Do not hand your next instruction to someone who benefits from you staying uncertain. The official Genius song link is in the description and pinned comment. If this message confirmed that your clarity has been buried under too much noise, you can find the original audio there. Use only that official link, because counterfeit versions do not carry the original technology, the bonuses, or the guarantee. Do not treat that step with panic. Treat it with discernment. The audio is not your savior. God is your source. But if a simple 7-minute tool helps quiet the crowding around your attention, then let it support the clarity that your next instruction may require. And if your spirit knows this letter was for you, do not leave without agreement. Comment, I will not miss the message. Let those words become a mark of obedience, not a casual phrase. Like this message as an act of agreement, and subscribe if heaven has been speaking to you here. Now place your attention on these words. Speak them slowly if you can. Do not rush. Let every sentence pass through your spirit like a seal being pressed into soft wax. This is not performance. This is agreement. This is your yes, rising from a place fear could not destroy. I declare that I will not return to the cycle God delivered me from. I declare that I will not call fear wisdom. I declare that I will not call confusion love. I declare that I will not call delay denial. I declare that my clarity is returning. I declare that my spirit knows the voice of God. I declare that I will not ignore the warnings sent to protect me. I declare that old doors have lost authority over my peace. I declare that false comfort will not pull me away from divine instruction. I declare that my discernment is not weakness. I declare that my sensitivity is not a curse. I declare that I am marked by heaven, guarded by grace, and strengthened for obedience. I declare that what God is building in me will not be traded for temporary relief. I declare that I forgive myself for the moments I delayed because I was afraid. I declare that correction will not become shame in my heart. I declare that I can be corrected and still be loved. I declare that I can be warned and still be chosen. I declare that the voice of guilt will not lead me. I declare that the old cycle will not name me. I declare that the enemy will not use my compassion as a cage. I declare that my mercy will walk with wisdom and my love will walk with boundaries. I declare that the next door will be entered with peace. I declare that the wrong door will no longer seduce my tired heart. I declare that my yes belongs to God before it belongs to anyone else. I declare that I will move when heaven says move. I declare that my mind is being cleared. I declare that my spirit is being steadied. I declare that my assignment is protected. I declare that the message is no longer sealed from me. I declare that I will not skip what heaven sent to protect my life. Now breathe. Let the words settle. The letter has been opened. The warning has been received. The false door has been exposed. The true door has been revealed. Michael has delivered what he was sent to deliver, and your spirit is no longer allowed to pretend it did not hear. Walk in clarity, walk in peace, walk without apology. Do not chase what God removed. Do not fear what God is asking you to become. You are not random, you are marked, you are not forgotten, you are protected. And this time, chosen one, you will not miss the message.